Study Session 1, International Political System, Introduction. In this study session, we shall focus on the meaning and attributes of a system in relation with the international political system. We shall also discuss the importance of the study of international relations to Africans. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this study session, you should be able to highlight the attributes of a system, differentiate between international political system and international relations, and discuss the importance of studying international relations from the African perspective. Meaning and attributes of a system. Let us start by asking what a system is. If we check the meaning of a system in the Encyclopedic World Dictionary, it is given as an assemblage or combination of things or parts forming a complex or unitary whole. A number of heavenly bodies associated and acting together according to certain natural laws. The world or universe. An assemblage of parts of organs of the same or similar tissues concerned with the same functions. Thus, we can talk of a railway system, the solar system, the world system, and the digestive system respectively. The word system comes from the Latin word systema, which means organized whole. To come nearer to social sciences, Hugo Reading, in a Dictionary of the Social Sciences, defined system as a set of interrelated elements, a set of interdependent variables. F. North Edge, in his International Political System, defined the system as involving the existence of an intelligible, regulated, and orderly set of relations between parts such as to form a coherent, though complex whole. These different definitions are informing, and you should please note the differences and similarities between them. For the purpose of this course, let us take a system to be a coherent complex unit made up of different parts that have relationships with one another and function for the maintenance of the whole unit. From the definition of a system, we now move on to think about the attributes or properties of a system. The definition of North Edge mentioned some of these. A system has 5 major properties. A. Intelligibility, that is, easy understanding of the functioning of the different parts of and the rules and relationships existing amongst them. B. Existence of relevant rules of regulating intrasystem relationships. C. Orderliness. D. Coherence and unity. E. Interdependence of the various parts making up the whole system. Note: it is important to note that within a country regarded as a social system or state system, we have various systems such as the political system, the economic system, the cultural system, and so on. Of these, you need to take particular note of the political system. From the explanations of David Easton in A Systems Analysis of Political Life and Kaplan in System and Process in International Politics, a political system is a subsystem within the social system. That is to say that political system is a component part of the social or state system. International political system and international relations. Bearing in mind the properties of a system as enumerated above, one will become curious to know if there exists an international system. In other words, does the arrangement and conduct of nations in the world qualify to be called a system? There are 2 views to this question. One view argues that there is no international system because, first, there is disorderliness and chaos in the world, manifested in boundary disputes, terrorism, violence, aggression, and hijacking of planes. Second, it is argued that even though there are laws, such laws are not obeyed by the states. Hence, every nation behaves as she likes. This situation gives rise to Thomas Hobbes' state of nature in the international system. Thomas Hobbes' state of nature is like where many people live in a jungle and there is no law or law enforcer. The strong therefore destroy the weak, and life is short and brutish as the people struggle over the same resources: food, water, clothing, and shelter. In this struggle, only the fittest survive. However, another view disagrees with the above negative painting of the international system. It is argued that there is an international system because, first, there is intelligibility in the system. States understand one another. They know the socialists, capitalists, and racist ones among them, and they know the weak and the strong ones. Second, conflicts are resolved through many avenues such as diplomacy, and it is only occasionally that wars take place. There are conflicts and criminals within the state system and even in the family, which is the smallest social unit. Third, there are rules that the states follow in good faith, even where there are no instruments for enforcing international laws. Examples are international trade, international flights, visits of heads of states and governments, and so on. There are rules that states obey and only disobey at the risk of certain sanctions from other nations. For example, when President Idi Amin of Uganda aided hijackers to oppress hostages in 1976, Israel, whose citizens constituted a greater percentage of the hostages, invaded the Entebbe airport in Uganda and liberated the hostages. Thus, we can conclude that there is an international system. Tip: the international political system refers to the collection of sovereign independent states which interact among themselves in an understanding manner, guided by certain rules in the process of pursuing their individual and collective goals. Having said that there is an international system, can we also ask whether the international system is political? The answer is yes, because A. The nations in the world are politically organized. B. The relations between the various actors in the international system are carried out through the politically organized states. C. The objectives pursued by states in the international system and even the methods of the pursuit are almost the same as those pursued within the states. E.g., at the international level, states struggle for power, position, resources, and food. A practical example is where the United States of America, USA, wants to be the strongest state in the world, just as the USSR wants the same thing. In the United Nations Organization, UNO, each nation struggles to have its citizens as the Secretary General. D. The relations among nations involve conflict and conflict management, and it is clear that the major elements of politics include power, conflict, peace, and resource sharing. Finally, for this subtopic, we need to differentiate between international political system and international relations. The international political system refers to the collection of sovereign independent states which interact among themselves in an understanding manner, guided by certain rules in the process of pursuing their individual or collective goals. International relations, however, is the interaction or relations between states or relations between nations. Relevance of studying international relations. The international political system is part of the field of international relations. We study international relations for several reasons. First, it enables us to understand the origin, presence, and characteristics of conflicts between nations due to opposing interests. This understanding helps in eliminating or minimizing these conflicts. Second, it helps us to understand peace relations among nations and to evolve strategies for continued peace. Third, from international relations study, we have knowledge of the origin and role of international law and international organizations in the world. For Africans, the study of international relations is more important because, first, it was through international relations among European powers that the scramble for Africa began, and the partitioning of Africa occurred in Berlin in 1884, giving rise to the eventual colonization of Africa. Second, the decolonization process also gained momentum from the international relations. The Second World War, United Nations operations, United States pressure, constitutional conferences, and guerrilla activities. Third, even after political independence has been won, the European powers continue to exploit the resources, markets, and people of Africa through international relations channels. Finally, it is through a close study and mastery of the intricacies of international relations that patriotic Africans can emancipate the continent from the stranglehold of European oppressors and exploiters. Discussion. Point out the channels of international relations through which Africa is being exploited. Post your findings on Study Session 1 forum page on course website. Study Session Summary. In this study session, we have learnt that a system is a coherent complex unit made up of different parts that have relationships with one another and function for the maintenance of the whole unit. It has 5 main properties: intelligibility, existence of rules, orderliness, coherence and unity, and interdependence. We noted that international political system is a collection of sovereign states making up the community of nations, while international relations